Marvin, he was a friend of mine, and he could sing a song, his heart in every line. Those lyrics are some of the finest lyrics ever written as the opening of a loving tribute to Marvin Gaye and Jackie Wilson by the forever fabulous Commodores. And singing brings me joy. Singing creates joy in my life, so I thought I would open the tea tales today with singing. So October is Breast Cancer and Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And every single day, we need to be working toward prevention with breast cancer, as well as domestic violence. So very often in our sick care system in the US, the sick care system will treat the symptom, but very rarely is there an examination of the root. Very rarely is there an examination of the root of illness. It's rarely examined and it's rarely acted upon. So as we each have the power to work toward prevention, let's ask ourselves these questions. What is at the root of misogyny? What is at the root of misogyny? What is at the root of a hatred of women? And where does the need to control another person come from? And finally, what is at the root of the need to diminish another person in order to feel good? What is at the root of the need to diminish somebody else to feel good? Yeah, I'm holding my head because I don't understand that. But I feel like if we place our laser focus on those questions, we will create a solution. And we are on our way to creating prevention for both domestic violence as well as breast cancer. So as soon as we know what is at the root, we can rip it out with both hands. So this episode is in honor of survivors of breast cancer and domestic violence. This episode is in honor of loved ones taken from us through domestic violence and through breast cancer. This episode is in honor of self-compassion, being compassionate with ourselves through our suffering. So, self-compassion can look differently. It can be watching our thoughts. All of our experiences percolate through our thoughts. It's the company of our thoughts that either uplift or degrade us. The company of our thoughts either uplift or degrade us. Self-compassion can look like recognizing when we're being too hard on ourselves. We realize we're being too hard on ourselves and we decide to be more gentle with ourselves. How are we speaking to our minds about ourselves? How are we being our best advocate? Are we motivating ourselves by being hard on ourselves? Are we withholding self-love? Are we withholding self-care until a certain goal is met? Because I tell you, self-care is essential. and nothing is required. No goal is needed to be met in order for us to practice self-care every day. It's not selfish, it's essential. Self-compassion can be setting boundaries for ourselves and realizing just how very precious our energy is, and being more mindful of where our energy goes. We can only be truly compassionate with others if we are truly compassionate with ourselves. I'm going to say that again. We can only be truly compassionate with others when we are truly compassionate with ourselves. Self-compassion can involve clearing our house of negative people, toxic people out of our house. I'm talking about this house. I'm talking about the people we spend our precious time with, ridding our house of toxic people. And very often, we may realize that we are attracting toxic people based on the toxic relation we have with ourselves. That's why self-compassion is so important. It's so very important. Self-compassion, it looks like discovering what brings us joy. Self-compassion looks like knowing how we create joy in our own lives and practicing it every moment God sends us. So to deepen our practice of self-compassion, I highly recommend the Mindful Self-Compassion Workbook by Dr. Kristen Neff and Dr. Christopher Germer. This wonderful workbook was given to me by my beautiful sister friend, fellow warrior queen, breast cancer survivor and thriver, and the charismatic creator and founder of Therapist of Color Collaborative. I cherish it, and I also have the book Self-Compassion, The Proven Power of Being Kind to Yourself by Dr. Kristen Neff on Audible. I listen to it all the time. So to those in recovery of being too damn hard on yourselves, like myself, I offer this quote from The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Treating myself like a precious jewel makes me stronger. Treating myself like a precious jewel makes me stronger. Yes, yes, and yes. Thank you for tuning in to the Tea Tales today. I'm coming at you from the beautiful Sintra Mountains, Quinta do Pisau in Portugal. It's a gorgeous Sunday. I hope to see you during the next episode of Self-Compassion Part 2. Thank you for creating more joy in the world by creating more joy in your lives.